Hey guys, we're back with the 10th Christopher Nolan film, Dunkirk. And this one's just as good as the other 9, I reckon. But anyway, let's get into the review.
He's one of my favourite filmmakers.
Me too.
Dunkirk is a story about 400,000 British and French soldiers that were pushed to the coast of France. So the Germans had pretty much given them a complete ass-kicking. It's during World War II, if you don't know that already. Pushed right to the coast, and so all these soldiers were stuck on the beach, and all the British boats and stuff could not get close enough to pick them up because of the U-boats, mines, aircraft, all that kind of stuff. So the story centers around land, sea, and air. This film was quite interesting because it's not your typical narrative film that focuses on one main character or two main characters. It's very much an ensemble film, but the film is about the event itself, not about the people.
Yeah.
And there's not much dialogue in this film as well.
None at all,
Again,
really.
it's all about the event and seeing what happens.
Yeah, you kind of just thrown in with these characters and sort of like how they come together in a form of camaraderie.
Totally.
And their survival, we just sort of see them and follow them, and that's it, you know?
Visual storytelling.
Totally.
Not
Not like there's no character development at all, because there's
No.
some little beats they have and some little arcs they have which are really cool.
When you're in that situation, you're just trying to hide and get away and you know, dodge the bullets flying over your head and don't have time to trying to tell your whole backstory to some characters.
Totally. Getting into the negatives a bit early, I actually would have liked a bit more of that, personally.
Right
I would have liked little moments for them to talk about each other and get a bit of backstory, like Saving Private Ryan. But I do appreciate how they did it in the film, and it was, like you said, focused on the event. And like I said before, like characters like Tom Hardy has an arc and has like...
Well, yeah, Tom Hardy's character, Ferrier, is the only character's name I remember in the movie.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Is the only one Ferrier.
I don't think they actually mention any character names up to that point. I think Cillian Murphy in the credits is listed as Shivering Soldier. He's got no name.
I just don't know that.
Yeah.
This film utilizes real backdrops, real sets, real locations, beautifully. I mean, like it was really hard to spot any kind of CGI in the film.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was there, but it was used so beautifully that it didn't stand out in any way necessary.
Yeah.
Like it was really good. And just seeing, you know, the ships and the men and the amount of extras they had on this movie would have been massive.
Yeah, there were a lot.
The way they captured like all the surrounding beach of Dunkirk, the cinematography is next level. So good. Like they used IMAX cameras for the majority of this film, like his previous films like The Dark Knight and Interstellar and stuff. There was definitely a handful of scenes they used the IMAX cameras to shoot the full frame stuff, but this one there was probably 80 to 90% of the film was the IMAX cameras. And the way they position these cameras and stuck them on the aircrafts and stuff is really cool.
Very cool. Yeah, he really took his time on the shots. It wasn't very choppy, you know?
No.
Like there were a lot of moments where just sort of...
Just long takes.
Long takes, you know, which I appreciated, you know. This is like another collaboration between Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer. Yeah. Once again. And yeah, another great score by Hans. I personally feel like by itself, it's not really good, doesn't stand out, but it works so well with the film.
It does.
You know? So it's like very good, and I hope he does get some Oscar recognition this time. Maybe just give him that fucking Oscar already.
Just get an Oscar, because his score worked in really well with like the other sound design of the film. Like you got the sound effects and the dialogue editing and stuff like that, but the way he incorporated the score was just like, it felt like it was part of the scene. Like there was a reminding ticking noise through this whole film. It was like
like time is of the essence.
Time is the essence, and it just keeps going. And
when it stops, you notice, you're like, there's no music, you know.
And the film was just so tense.
It's really a moment to breathe. Like,
yeah,
you know, you're kind of on your edge of the seat the whole time. Like there are the sea parts, the first half of the film, I guess, are kind of breath of, like, okay, I can catch my breath, but then towards the end, it's like every storyline is intense, and you're on the edge of your seat. Let's move on to the main star of the movie, which is the audio design, which is fantastic. Yeah, the sound of this movie is so good.
So good.
I watched it and it was so freaking loud, and I loved it. Like every bullet was like, ka-tong, ka-tong.
Yeah,
you know?
the first time that you heard like the bullets ricochet, I think it was in the aeroplane. I just
everyone jumped. Like, everybody jumped.
Like just it came from left to right and just like whoa.
It was brilliant. Like so that's actually like something I loved, but be warned, it is very loud. You know, and I've read online that people complain that it's too loud, so if you're going to go with your grandparents, let them know, bring some earplugs, but I personally love that, you know.
Granny, are you okay? Granny!
It really just captured the horror, you know, of the situations, the moments where they're just on the ground trying to get cover and the bullets going over their heads, or I don't know the name of the plane, but the German planes that have sirens on them, the scene where they show up, it sounded so terrible. Yeah. It sounded like banshees from hell coming to steal your soul. It sounded like the worst. It was horrifying. Like that's obviously where they got the idea for the TIE Fighter.
Totally.
For Star Wars, you know, just that horrific.
Just hearing that get louder and louder.
And they just cover their ears and hope they don't get blown up, you know. And Tom Hardy.
The dude can act with his eyes.
Yeah, totally. Like the callback to Mad Max and Bane, you know, like the guy covers his face, but he can still act. Like he.
Poor guy always has to have a mask on.
I know, it's weird. In his contract, I think he's got something with his mouth. He doesn't like showing it off. But honestly, there's like a moment of the film where he's thinking and he doesn't say anything, but you know exactly what's going on, and like it's just all through the eyes. And I kind of was going to the film thinking he won't be used a lot, but I was really...
Good amount, not too much, not too little.
Yeah, but what he did was...
All the stories were beautifully paced. Like, no one got too much focus, even though some of the stories take place in a longer period of time. Yeah. They still got even kills between them all.
Totally. Part of the big miracle of Dunkirk was just all the civilians coming over to help the soldiers, and the moment where they all show up, spoilers, it's history, come on, when they all show up, that's such a great moment, and I think people in the cinema were wiping tears from their eyes. It's just so nice to see humanity unite together in that moment. Another thing in this film that's I really appreciated was that it was totally focused on the soldiers, and you never saw the Germans. The whole time they were kind of the presence, like this sort of almost evil force around them. Like, you see the bullets, you see the planes, but you never actually see a German the whole time. I thought that was really clever.
He shot it for perspective purposes. So you're with the boys on the ground, you're with the boys in the air, you're with the guys on the water. So like, you're seeing what they're seeing.
Totally.
They're seeing this menace from the sky. We don't get close-ups of the German pilots firing their machine guns. No, very shot from far back. Really restrained, which is really, really nice. The action is super raw and realistic in this film. There's a lot of drownings, there's a lot of shocking explosions, a lot of bullets that kind of come out of nowhere. And it's not over-stylized, which is kind of cool. But that's with Christopher Nolan and kind of the rating that he's been given. He's kind of restrained a lot of that graphicness of the film, which was somewhat of a negative for me. I think the film could have benefited from a bit more harsher, bit more realistic graphical violence. I think would have just made a bit more. It would have given it a bit more of an edge.
I can see it doesn't need to go to that route to get across how violent it is.
No,
you still felt it.
No,
but I do think there were a few moments where it's like you could have used a bit more blood. There's a moment where someone blows up and they kind of just ragdoll away.
Yeah, they just like flip away, and I was like, clearly the dude's going to be missing a leg.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have to be too much. It could just be like what was it, Wonder Woman pulled that off. There was someone with a missing leg one shot, and you just see it for a moment. And like, it doesn't have to be a Tarantino gore fest. No. Just a bit of violence would be nice. But like I said, you don't need it.
No.
We just personally would like it.
And like, as far as it's being realistic, is like some of the dogfight scenes and stuff are so tense, and the way that they shoot the dogfights is that you're shot from perspective of like the aiming, the targeting system and stuff. And when they hit like an airplane, it doesn't Michael Bay go and flip and wings fall off. It just gets smoked. When he does hit one down, it's not like he's like, "Whoa, yeah, you get him, buddy." He's just like, doesn't even he just like confirms it down, writes the thing, and then moves on to the next one. It's very, very cool.
Totally. So Dunkirk for me, at the end of the day, is a great Nolan film, one that everyone should check out. I wouldn't say it's his best, personally for me. Audio is great, but once again, one of my cons is the dialogue. You can hardly hear it, and I feel like since The Dark Knight, he doesn't seem to care for dialogue as much. Every movie, maybe I'm going deaf, but I cannot hear them, And this one, you got the loud Hans Zimmer music and the loud planes and all the action, and they're talking. I have no idea what's happening. But overall, apart from that, very interesting war film, great angle they went for, and could have used a bit more character development, but I can see why they did what they did. So at the end of the day, gets 8 for me. So yeah, definitely one you should check out. Good film.
This film is really about spectacle and the men involved and about the event itself. And I really love war films. I'm just fascinated by the history, and I think this being known as like a colossal military disaster for the Allies, and just hearing the story, not just of survival, but just like how the men kind of came together, and just the environment they were stuck in was horrible. And the film that they managed to pull out of this was tremendous. And I think it was a really brave thing that Chris Nolan did. A different way of telling that story, And I think he could have ruined it if he did include a main character, or he did try and do something different. But I think he's played it really, really, really well with this one. It's riveting scene to scene, and the technical aspects of the film were fantastic. Like, we covered the sound design and the music and all that kind of stuff. And as far as cons go, like, there was just, it could have used a bit more of a violent edge to it. And yeah, I'm with Taylor on the dialogue. Not clear, and probably could have used a bit more, but I'm not being fussy about it in any way. I think it's just a really cool film, and I think a lot of people should go see this film. A lot of people don't know about the history of Dunkirk, even though it's been a big thing in especially British history. So I highly, highly recommend you guys go see it. I will also end on an 8 out of 10. Cool.
Pow! Okay guys, thanks for watching our channel. You know the drill. I'm not going to say it. Do the things we tell you to do every time. YouTube spew, like Scott said. So let's just have a chat while the little annotations come up.
Yeah.
So how'd you rank this with the Nolan films?
I would rank it
like above Interstellar, under Interstellar?
No, I'd say I'd probably enjoy Interstellar more just because of the more fantastical.
Yeah. Totally. I'm still partial Memento and Prestige. I can't